Good morning, everyone. Today's assembly is about resilience and being resilient. So what does resilience mean? The first definition is a material's ability to spring back into shape, and the second, the ability to recover quickly from difficulties. Now we're going to think about the second definition, but in some ways our resilience is similar to a material's ability to spring back into shape. Some materials that would be described as resilient are rubber or a spring as they bounce back into their original shape. But being resilient is about not giving up when you've had a bad day. It's about picking yourself up when things are not going well. We've all had to learn how to be more resilient over the last year or so. COVID-19 has meant lots of changes in our daily routines and less contact with our friends and family. During the moon flight of Apollo 13 on the 14th of April in 1970, one of the crew started a conversation with their US base in Houston by saying, "Houston, we have a problem." There was actually a life-threatening fault with the spaceship's oxygen tank. The crew had to relay the information and then work together to deal with the situation. The important thing about all this was they didn't give up. The spaceship landed safely and all the crew survived. Their resilience saved them. Problems are an inevitable part of life. Some days seem to be full of problems, and at other times they seem to be problem-free. Problems can be little or large, but they always need dealing with, whatever their size. If you don't deal with problems, they can become bigger and then overwhelm you. Now more than ever, with so many restrictions in place where you cannot meet up with friends as much as you would like, when you are probably not seeing your extended families as much as before coronavirus, it is so important that we do not let problems build. Talk to someone, let someone know. A problem shared is a problem halved. However, there are times when things just don't go to plan. You can find yourself with a problem, you face it, you deal with it, and it still all goes wrong. So what then? What do we do? When things go wrong, you can feel a whole range of emotions. You can feel angry. You might feel like a surge of anger about something that's happened, which is completely out of your control, and you may often want to blame someone else. You could feel worried. You could feel nervous or concerned about what's going to happen next. You could feel upset, and when you feel upset, you might just want to cry. You could have a feeling of dread. The feeling of dread just might build up as you know there might be consequences to face. You might just want to hide. People often want to just escape, avoid and hide. And all of these reactions are completely normal. There are things you can do to build resilience. First one is learn from your mistakes. Resilience comes from different areas, and mistakes are really useful for helping us to improve and to become more resilient for the next time. An example of this is when you see a baby trying to learn to walk. They do a lot of falling down, but they keep on trying and they don't give up, and eventually they all learn to walk. If we learn from our mistakes instead of giving up, we can keep improving, succeed, and as we go, we do build resilience. Sometimes looking at something in a different way maybe can help us see the positives which might be there. We need to take a different view of a situation to see if we can create something useful from a situation. You may be able to think of a time when looking at something in a slightly different way made it more positive. Another way to become more resilient is to always work hard. Anything worthwhile needs working at, and the more effort we put into something, the better it will be. And if we come across a difficulty, we just need to work hard at overcoming it. Now, you may be able to think of a time where you've had to work really hard at something, but it's been worth it in the end. And successes like this do help you become more resilient. Another thing you can do to build resilience is when something is proving really difficult, just move away from it, distract yourself, and try and keep calm and give it time so you can see things with a new perspective. Try not to dwell on the problem, but do something completely different and return when you feel calmer. Examples of distraction techniques that can help keep you calm are calling a friend for a chat, breathing deeply and slowly, eat or drink something, note its flavour, meditate, watch TV, listen to music. Could be you want to hold on to something comforting like a blanket or a favourite soft toy. You could write down what is worrying you. Think about what you do to distract yourself when you come up against a problem. You can build resilience by asking for help. There are times when you just need to acknowledge that you can't do everything yourself. Asking for help builds relationships and together makes us stronger. Now, coming back into school full time after so many months of working online has been hard for everyone, and we all cope in different ways. Some of you will have really enjoyed working at home, lots of the staff too. And coming back will mean getting up earlier, longer days, and maybe a quicker pace. So you may be feeling tired, which can lead to being stressed. Some of you, though, will have struggled with online learning and the lack of social interaction, and will be really glad to be back in school, even if it's not quite normal yet. We have plenty of people in school who can help you if you're struggling with anything. Make sure you ask for help if you need it, and offer help if you see your friends and your peers struggling. The need for thinking a difficulty through calmly is so important for building resilience. And if you let anger get the better of you, sometimes you just can't think rationally and you can make snap decisions and often make things worse. Staying calm means you can think things through and work out what to do. But how do you stay calm? There are many ways you can calm yourself if you feel anxious. Sometimes just simple breathing, slow deep breaths in through your nose, out through your mouth, counting slowly to 5, and again when you breathe out. This can give you the time you need just to calm down and think more clearly. Just take a minute before you act so you don't do anything or say anything in anger that you'll regret later. If you're able to find humour when things go wrong for you, you will often find that you're less upset. So sometimes, despite things looking disastrous, there can be a funny side. We've all seen the TV shows where we laugh at other people's misfortunes that are caught on camera. And seeing the funny side can diffuse the situation and all the anger and upset can suddenly disappear, leaving us able to just sort out what we need to do next. How many times have you said, I know I shouldn't laugh, but it was funny? To become resilient, you must keep trying. Giving up is often the easiest option. It's certainly the quickest option. However, how do we learn anything if we give up when anything gets tricky? How do we improve if we're not going to practice? Keeping on trying is vital for building resilience. I'm sure there have been times when you have kept trying and then felt a huge sense of satisfaction when you've achieved something. You must be kind to yourself. Difficulties can appear when we least expect them, and they throw us off course and they make everything seem hard. So give yourself time and don't be too hard on yourself. Everyone makes mistakes. Everyone has a bad day. Try and work out how you can avoid something happening again, and above all, be kind to yourself. Like the material that springs back into shape again, our inner resilience can help us bounce back and keep on trying. Remember that since COVID-19, nothing has been normal. Every one of us has been affected, and lots of us are still being affected. Some of us deal with the changes and challenges easily, and some of us find certain things really difficult. So as well as being kind to yourself, please be kind to each other. Please do not say unkind things, even if you think it's just a joke. Our wellbeing team are dealing with anxiety and upset amongst our pupils every single day, and some of it can be helped if all of us just remember to be kind. Be patient with each other and remember that we are all trying to get back to normal, and it feels different for everyone. Some of us have breezed through the last year, but some of us have had to deal with loss of loved ones, loneliness from being separated from family and loved ones, and anxiety from having now to leave home and come to school. There isn't a formula that says how long it takes for everyone to be back to normal, but if we're patient with each other and we're always kind, we will help each other to become more resilient. Thank you.